I'm going to twist this rod like this. So it's going to oscillate in an angular form, but actually it's twisting the rod. Okay, so rod is getting twisted. So here the torque is coming from this angular motion, right? The torque for this oscillation is coming from twisting of the rod. So we can relate this twisting with the shear modulus and time period of this. So we will get the same relation, eta equals to 8 pi Li by T square r to power 4. But here the time period is a different one. So I'm going to call this one T1 because that was different oscillation, and this time period will be T2. Okay. So once we have measured these two quantities, Young's modulus and shear modulus, we can just use the relation, this one 2 eta 1 minus sigma, to measure Poisson's ratio. So let's get this Poisson's ratio. Poisson's ratio will be equal to y upon 2 eta minus 1, right? So this is your formula. So I'm going to put these two values here and get the formula for Poisson's ratio, which will be equal to T2 square by 2 T1 square minus 1. So as you can see, we have reduced these complicated concepts of like Young's modulus, Poisson's ratio and eta in form of time period, length and moment of inertia of these objects. Okay, so now only thing remains is that measure the moment of inertia, measure the time period and get these quantities. So now let's begin our experiment. So we will remember these three formulas. I'm going to rub up these. So all we need to remember is these three formulas, but you need to always know and remember that from how are they derived. Okay, so you always need to remember how many concepts we are using, how many quantities are involved in this measurement. Okay, so that's why I have discussed all these quantities like simple harmonic motion, moment of inertia, rotation, and then your Young's modulus. So Young's modulus is given as 8 pi L I by T1 square into r to power 4. So I'm going to define the quantities again. Which quantity is what? Poisson's ratio is, shear modulus is equal to 8 pi Li by T2 square r to power 4, and Poisson's ratio is equal to T2 square by T1 square minus 1, 2 T1 square minus 1. So here, let's say L is the length of wire, okay, I is the moment of inertia of rod. So both rods are identical. You can measure moment of inertia of any one of them and it's same. R is the radius of wire, radius of cylindrical wire. Time period T1, T2 are T1, T2 are time periods. Okay. So one more thing which you need to put at your one more detail that you need to consider is what kind of rod we are using. So if these we have a rectangular a cuboid shaped rod. So basically it's a rectangular rod. Okay. So in this case moment of inertia is given by moment of inertia for a rectangular rod can be given as I rod equals to 1 by 12 L square plus the width square. So you need to consider where your axis of rotation is. So axis of rotation is passing from the center across. So which surface is involved actually in the rotation? So this length and the breadth. So this length of the rod and breadth of the rod is involved in the rotation, but the height is not, because whole height is rotating. Okay, so what we do is we choose the surface area perpendicular to the axis of the rotation. So if let's say your axis of rotation is outside of the board, then you need to consider the area of this area, okay, which in our case is this length of rod and breadth of rod. So this length L and breadth B should be considered, because the rod is rotating from this axis coming out of the board. Okay. Next is, if we had, instead of this rectangular rod, if we had cylindrical rods, then the formula will change. So for a cylindrical rod, if you have, the formula will be L square by 12 plus diameter D square by 16. But we don't have the cylindrical rods here, so we are going to skip this formula. Now all we need to do is to find the moment of inertia, measure these quantities. So it's already given that the length of this rod is already given, which is 30 centimeters. I'm going to write here. So for moment of inertia of rod, inertia of rod. So we are performing the measurements right now. So first thing we are going to measure is moment of inertia of the rod. So I can use Vernier caliper to measure the width of the rod. So let me see. Okay. So first of all, whatever measuring instrument you are using, you need to note down the least count of this measuring instrument. Okay. So the least count of this instrument is so in the main scale, the 1 division is equal to 1 millimeter, and in the Vernier scale, the 1 millimeter is divided into 10 more divisions. So the least count will be equal to 0.01 millimeter. Sorry, 1 millimeter is divided into 10, so it will be equal to 0.1 millimeter. 1 millimeter, or you need to convert it into centimeter, then you can put one more zero here. So 0.01 centimeter. So this is your least count of Vernier scale. Okay. So I'm going to fix this two edges of this Vernier caliper across the width. Okay, and then we can just take this out and note down the position. So the width is the main scale reading is 1.5. Main scale reading, scale 1.5, and the Vernier scale is 5. Vernier scale is 5. So the total will be equals to, so to measure the total, what we do is we multiply this least count with the Vernier scale and add with the main scale. So multiplied with this will equal to 0.05 and 1.5. So 1.5 plus 0.05 equal to 1.55 centimeters. So this is the width of the rod. Okay, and the length is, we already know, we don't need to measure it. Of course we should measure it, but ideally we should measure the length of the rod also, but we already know the length is 1 foot or 30 centimeters. So we are going to put these values to calculate the moment of inertia. So moment of inertia will be equal to I equal to 1 by 12 into 30 square, which is 900, plus 1.55 square, which will be equal to, so the value will be 2.405 plus 900 divided by 12. So the moment of inertia will be, so this comes out to be 75.2, and we always need, we are always sorry, there's mass also. We need to multiply this quantity with the mass. So mass of the rod is also given to us, which is 628 grams. So multiplied by, so we can here this will be equal to 628 grams. So also if you need to change this quantity into SI units, which will be equal to kilograms, so you need to multiply it with 10 to the power minus 3. So I am going to rub this off here and do the calculations to get 628 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by 12, or just multiplied by 75.2. So which will be equal to, this is your moment of inertia of the rod. IR will be equal to 47.225, and we always need to remember the unit of the quantities, okay, because without the unit these number mean nothing. So the SI unit will be kg for mass, length square should be meter square. So kg meter square, sorry, kg into centimeter square. So we have taken the quantities into centimeters, so this will be centimeter square. Okay. So this is our moment of inertia of the rod. So we can put this value down, and now we can what we need to measure is the length of the rod, sorry, length of the wire. So to measure the length of the wire, which is actually exactly 1 foot, sorry, 30 centimeter. So it's given already, but ideally we should measure the length of the wire also, but we are assuming that it's L, small l equals to 30 centimeter, and the radius of the wire, which we are going to measure here with the help of screw gauge. Okay, so with the help of screw gauge we are going to measure the radius of the wire. So what we do is, for more accurate result, we measure the radius of the wire at 3 different positions. Okay, so first we need to note down the least count of this screw gauge, which is 0.01 millimeter. Okay, so 0.01 millimeter means the least count of screw gauge equals to 0.001 centimeter. Okay,